Hello, I'm Aongelic, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today on your mat for an hour or so of Hatha. In this practice, we will work on our strength and our endurance because in Hatha, you actually hold your poses a little longer than in a typical vinyasa practice. In a typical vinyasa practice, you're moving from pose to pose on a single breath or a breath and a half or two. In Hatha, you are afforded the opportunity to like really stay in that pose for a few extra breaths and get a really good feeling of how your body feels in that pose, which is what I really love about Hatha. I love all forms of yoga, most forms of yoga. I haven't tried all, but I love yoga. But Hatha, I must say, is my favorite. For this practice, you may need a couple of blocks and a strap, and maybe at the end you may want to indulge in a bolster and a blanket during your shavasana. But if you don't have blocks and a blanket, blocks and a strap, maybe you have books around or a belt that you could substitute for the strap. But just have something around. Props are always good. Like in case you need to bring the floor up with the blocks. You need to bring the floor up closer, or if you need that strap because you can't quite reach your toes for a particular stretch or something. So anyway, we're gonna in typical practices we either we start standing, or we start in a easy seated position. In this hatha practice, I would like for us to start in downward facing dog. We're gonna sort of economize here. We're going to center and to warm up, all like in our downward facing dog. So go down to your hands and knees into tabletop, first of all, and spread those fingertips wide. Really press those fingertips into the mat and have your index fingers pointing straight forward. That way your biceps are forward and you're able to externally rotate them. Therefore, you'll be, like your shoulders will be in a perfect position when you curl your toes and press your hips up into downward facing dog. You can move around just for a few moments just to get a feel of where you want to be. You want your feet about hips width apart. You really want those biceps externally rotated, those shoulders spread wide, your belly, your navel drawn into your spine, nice long back, your heels pressed toward the mat, and a slight bend in your knees. And now find stillness and enjoy your natural breath. On your next inhale, really bring all your breath into your belly, expanding that belly. And then on the exhale, breathe out through your mouth. Inhale. Pushing all that air out of your belly. On your next inhale, hold at the top of that inhale, at the top of that breath. And then close your mouth and breathe out through your nose. Inhale, exhale. This should sound like the ocean to you, which is very calming normally. So I hope that that's what it is for you. That your ujjayi, this is your ujjayi breath, and this is the breath that you want to maintain throughout your practice. Nice, long, even breaths. If you're breathing in on the count of three, breathe out on the count of three. Experience the calmness in this breath. Let your head just hang low. Enjoying the release of in that spine from the weight of your head. Three more full breaths. Bring your knees to the mat. Spread them. And then push back into your child's pose. This is where I want you to come anytime you feel like you need a little bit of a rest. You may notice that my child's pose looks more like puppy because I have very limited, not very limited, but I have limited flexibility in my knees from years of running. So I can't get pushed all the way back into child's pose, but this still feels good to me. This is a great rest pose for me. So bring your hands back, your knees back to your tabletop. Spread those fingertips, push back up into that downward facing dog. Raise that right leg. Be sure that your thighs are drawn in toward each other. You want the hamstring on that right leg to be facing toward that ceiling. Really push that right leg up. Those toes pointed toward the mat. Open that hip, bending that knee. Look for that foot under that left arm. Bring that foot back to the center. Raise up on your toes on your left foot and bring that knee, that right knee in toward your chest and hold it there. Inhale. Exhale. Knee into chest. Inhale. One more time. Inhale. And then step through to the outside of that right hand and raise up into your crescent lunge. Your hips should be square to the front wall. Your knees should be as close to 90 degrees as possible, your front knee. Your back foot should be pressing toward that back wall. Bring your hands either to heart center or over your head. Really pressing that heel of that front foot into the mat. Bring those hands to heart center if they're not already there. Drag that back foot in. Hinge that torso forward where it's laying on your front leg. Raise that back leg. Warrior three. Your hips should be square to the mat. The toes of your left foot should be pointed toward the mat. Navel drawn into the spine. Breathe. And if you wobble, just go with it. Bring that left knee through, raising it up in front of you. Oops. I gotta find my balance here. Now straighten that left leg with your toes pointed toward that front wall. Try to keep your torso straight over your hips. Try to keep your balance, and if you fall out, just come back in. One more full breath. Bend that knee. Take it back. Go back into your warrior three. Lower that foot. Come back into your crescent lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Take both hands to the mat. Raise that right leg back up into three-legged dog. And then lower that foot to meet the left foot. And breathe. Raise that left leg. Drawing the inner thigh in toward the other. Be sure that hamstring is facing the ceiling and your toes are pointed toward the mat. Bend that knee, look for that foot under your right arm, and breathe. Bring that foot back to center. Raise up on the toes of that right foot and bring that knee in toward your chest and hold it. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, three-legged dog. One more time, knee into chest. Raise back up into three-legged dog and then lower that foot to meet the outside of that left hand. And raise up into your crescent lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Drag that right foot in. Lay your torso on your left leg, on your left thigh. Raise that right leg up. Three-legged dog. Hips square to the mat, toes turned toward the mat. And breathe. Raising that torso, bringing that right knee through, and then straighten that right leg. Point those toes toward the front wall. Lift. One more full breath, inhale. Bend that knee. Taking that leg back. Going back into your warrior three. Raising your hands above your head. And then lower that right foot going back into your crescent lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Take your hands down to the mat. Raise that left leg up into three-legged dog. And then bring that foot down and meet the other foot. Roll forward into plank pose. Really press into those fingertips. Draw that navel in. Spread those shoulders. Raise up on those toes. And breathe. Two more full breaths. Bring that right hand in toward the center of the mat in front of your face. And then open up into side plank on your right. Feel free to lower that bottom leg, the bottom knee to the mat. And press all four corners of that left foot into the mat if that's where you are today. Be sure that your wrist is below your shoulders and breathe. Otherwise, you can stay in full expression, side plank. Sweep your hands above you, in front of your face, and then over for extended side plank. One more full breath. Lower that left hand to the mat, and then push up into down facing dog. Roll forward into plank. Bring that left hand over the center, and then open up to plank, side plank on your left side. And if you needed to lower your knee on the right side, feel free to do it on this side. Sweep that hand in front of your face, and then over your head for extended side plank. One more full breath. Lower that right hand to the mat, and then push back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. And then just hang into Uttanasana. You can grab your elbows. You can move around. You can just let your hands just go limp to the floor. Be sure that you keep just a little bit of a bend in those knees and rest your torso on your thighs and just enjoy this nice rest. This is actually my favorite rest pose. Okay, when you're ready, walk your hands back out into your downward facing dog. Raise that right leg to three-legged dog. Open that hip, bending that knee, looking for that foot under your left arm. Come back to center, bend that knee and bring that knee in towards your chest. Hold it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale one more time. Back to three-legged dog. This time step your foot through to the outside of that right hand and then open up into your warrior two. Your back foot should be lined up with the back of your mat, all four corners of your feet planted firmly into the mat. Your right leg should be bent at about 90 degrees with your toes pointed toward the front of the mat. Your torso should be directly above your hips. Excuse me. And just look through your fingertips on your front hand and breathe. You want to have heel to heel or heel to arch alignment with your feet. And breathe. Wrap your left arm around your back and then bend back into your reverse warrior. And you want it to be more of a back bend than a side bend. Open your chest and take your arm back over your head. Be sure to keep that bend in that front knee. Come back to your warrior two. And then extend forward as far as you can. And right here, I always need a block. So if you need a block, bring it to the outside of that right foot. Extended side angle. Raise that right arm up parallel to your left arm as if you're holding a beach ball for a little bit of core work. One more full breath. Lower those hands to the mat, moving that block out of the way. Raise that right foot back up into three-legged dog. And then lower that foot to the mat. And breathe. Raise that left leg. Bend that knee, opening that hip, and looking for that foot under your right arm. Bring your leg back to neutral. Bend that knee, raise up on those right toes, and bring that knee in toward your chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, step that left foot to the outside of that left foot and open up into your warrior two on your left side. And breathe. Wrap that right arm around your back and then open up into reverse warrior. Come back into your warrior two. Extend forward as far as you can. Bringing that block out to the outside of your left foot if you need it. Adjust your foot, your back foot if you need to as well. I always have to. Sweep that hand in front of your face and then extend over for extended side angle on your left. Raise that left arm up. A little bit of core work on your left side. Take your hands back to the mat, removing that block. Raise back up to three-legged dog on the left, and then lower that foot to meet the right foot. Roll forward into plank. Remember, you can always lower those knees, but just keep the integrity of the pose. Keep that nice straight back. Keep those shoulders spread. Those fingertips pressed into the mat. Bring your right hand over to center, and then open up into side plank. Sweep that hand in front of your face and over for extended side plank. One more full breath. Lower that left hand. And come back into downward facing dog. Roll forward into plank. Bring that left hand over the center and open up into your side plank on your left side. Be sure that you're keeping that underbody lifted, that hip lifted. Sweep that hand in front of your face and over, or extend the side plank. One more full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Lower that right hand to the mat. Go back into downward facing dog. Or if you would like child's pose right now, that's fine too. I'm going to walk my hands back to my feet for my favorite rest pose. Uttanasana. Walk those hands back out into your downward facing dog. Raise that right leg. Open that hip. Come back to center, bend that knee, raise up on those left toes. And forward. Bring your knee in towards your chest for your crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Inhale the three-legged dog and then step that right foot out to the outside of that right hand and raise up into your crescent lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Drag that back foot in. Lowering your torso to your thigh. Raise that left leg up. Raise your torso up. Warrior three. Bring that left knee through. And then straighten that leg in front of you with your toes pointed toward the front wall. And breathe. Bend that knee. Take that leg back. Warrior 3. And then lower that left foot to the mat. Going back into your crescent lunge. Open up into your warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Back to warrior 2. Extend forward. Get that block if you need it. Extend the side angle. Raise that bottom arm for a little bit of core work. Pull that block out of the way. Lower your hands to the mat. Raise that right leg. And lower it. Going back into your down facing dog. And breathe. Raise that left leg. Open that hip. Looking for that foot under that right arm. Come back to center. Bend that knee. Raise up on those right toes and bring that knee in toward the chest and hold it. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, and one more time. Three-legged dog. Step that left foot forward. Raise up into crescent lunge on your left. Bring your hands to heart center. Lower that torso to your front thigh. Drag that right foot in. Then raise that leg. And that torso to warrior 3. Straighten that torso up. Bringing that knee, that right knee through. And then raising that right, straighten that right leg. Pointing those toes toward the front wall. And breathe. Bend that knee. Going back into your warrior 3. Lower that foot, coming back into your crescent lunge. Open up into your warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Come back into warrior 2. Extend forward as far as you can. Get that block if you need it. Sweep that hand in front of your face and then over. Adjust your feet as you feel necessary. Extended side ankle. Raise that left arm. Hold on to that beach ball. 2 more full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Move that block. Take both hands back to the mat. Raising that left leg, three-legged dog. And then lowering that foot to the mat. Roll forward into your plank. And just breathe. Two more full breaths. And then lower all the way to the mat. Push back into your child's pose. And just breathe. Come back up. And then lower back to your belly. Bringing your arms out to your sides. Palms down. Shoulders away from your ears. Your hips firmly planted to the mat with your navel drawn into your spine. On an inhale, raise everything up. Your thighs, your chest, your hands, your feet, everything. Locust pose. Try to go a little bit higher with each breath. One more full breath. And then rest on your right cheek. Come back to center. Bring your forearms to the mat with your fingertips spread and pointed toward the front wall. The tops of your feet really pressed into the mat. Your hips pressed into the mat. Your navel drawn in. Sphinx pose. Curl your toes, lift up into forearm plank, and breathe. Two more full breaths. One more. And then lower all the way back down to the mat. And rest. Press up, back up into your tabletop. And then take your feet out in front of you. That's some good work we're doing here. Move that flesh. Oh, Lord. Move those shoulders around and then up, back, and down. Dandasana staff pose. Really press those heels into the mat. This is an active pose. It looks easy, but it should be an active pose. Have a nice straight back, navel drawn into the spine, heels pressed into the mat. Your hands pressed into the mat. Raise your hands above your head, and then let's get a nice, easy forward fold. We're really only going for a release in the spine right now. Like, I'm not able to go very far right now. I think I need just a little bit more to get there. Two more full breaths. Okay, sit back up. Bend those knees, bring your feet to the mat. Have your hands behind your back with your fingertips pointed forward. Bring one leg up first with your shin parallel to the ceiling, the other leg. Then bring your hands out, your arms out to your sides with your palms facing each other to the outsides of your calves. Navasana. If you can straighten those legs, feel free to do that. Keep that chest lifted. Really dig into that transverse. Really, really draw that core in. Take your hands together and take your legs over to the right and your hands over to the left and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it and go to the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Lay back into low boat. And then come back up, bend those knees, and then fold over. Lay on your backs, a little bit more core work. Raise those legs where they're perpendicular to the floor. Your toes are pointed toward the ceiling. Your arms are out to your sides with your palms down, face down. And then slowly lower those legs until you have a hover. And then crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4. Raise back up. Lower to a hover. 2, 3, 4. And only lower as far as you can go without your lower back raising up off the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower again. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower. Hold it there at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And then raise back up. And then bring your knees into your chest for Apanasana. Grab around that right shin, lower that left leg to the mat, and take that right knee to the outside of your torso for wind releasing pose. Hold it there for a second. Bring it back to center. Straighten your leg. Right here is where you may need a strap. You may not, but if you need a strap, just wrap it around I will demonstrate. If you need a strap, have a loop, and then simply just wrap it around your foot and just hold it there. This is Viparita. If you don't need a strap, and I think I'll hold on to the strap on this leg just to demonstrate, but you can either grab behind your thigh, your calf, or you can grab your foot, or you can hold on to the strap and just breathe. On each inhale, release out of that stretch just a little bit, and then on each exhale, go a little deeper into the stretch. But do not go to the point of pain. We never want pain in yoga. We're just going for progress. Now you want to take that leg out to the side. Take your left arm out to the side where your arm is lined up with your shoulder. Keep your hips square to the ceiling, and take that right leg out for that inner thigh stretch. And breathe. Bring that leg back up to center. Release that strap if you have it. Bend that left leg, that left knee, and then cross that right foot over that left knee, bringing that knee in towards your chest, and grab behind that left thigh, pressing your right elbow into that right knee for that hip stretch. You can leave your leg bent or you can straighten it, whatever feels good for you. And just breathe. Release that thigh, and then cross that leg, lower that left foot first of all. And then going to completely cross that right leg over that left leg, bring it back up into your chest, and then twist over to your left. Sideline twist. If that's too much for you, straighten that leg and then just gently take that right thigh over to the left. But if you need a little bit more, cross those legs, sideline twist. Be sure that both shoulders are still planted into the mat. And breathe. Come back to center. Bring those both knees into your chest. And then lower that right leg to the mat. Make sure that you're pressing the heel of that right foot into the mat. Take that knee out to your left side when releasing pose. Come back to center. And then straighten that leg. And whatever you feel that you need on this side, you do it. You may have done the strap on the other side, but feel like you have a little bit more flexibility and you don't need the strap on this side. You do what feels good for you, because our bodies are not created equally. So sometimes you may need to, vary what you do from side to side. Remember, on every inhale, just release out of this straight leg twist just a little bit. And then on every exhale, just go just a little bit deeper into the stretch. One more full breath. Inhale, and then exhale. Grab the inside of that foot, and then take that left foot out to the side for that inner thigh stretch on the left. And be sure that both shoulder blades are into the mat. And breathe. Have your head in whatever direction you like. You may want to look over to the right. You may want to look center. You may even want to look at your foot that's stretched out to the left. Whatever feels good for your neck and for you, period. That's what you do. Just be sure that you keep those hips open. This is not a closed hip pose. And breathe. Bend that right knee and bring that leg in and cross that left foot over that right knee, and then bring that knee up towards your chest, grabbing behind your right thigh and pressing that left elbow into that left thigh for that hip stretch. You can either straighten that right leg, or keep it bent, whatever feels good for you. And breathe. Lower that right foot to the mat. Cross that left leg over, and then bring it back. Bring both knees back into your chest, if you like, or you can straighten that right leg and then just take that left knee over to the side for sideline twist. But like I said, on the other side, if you need more, keep those legs crossed, and then twist over to your right. This is heaven for me. I love twisting. You have to realign your spine. After you do all that other stuff, you have to bring it back. And this is the best one. harder this way. Come back to center. Bring your feet into the mat with your knees bent. Take your arms out to your side. Bring your heels as close to your bum as possible. I'm limited in this, so I can't bring my heels too very close to my hips. But I work with what I have. Pressing your palms into the mat, tucking that tailbone, drawing that navel in, and then raise up, drawing your shoulder blades in toward each other. Bridge pose. Be sure that you're drawing those thighs in toward each other. You don't want your thighs going out. Draw them in toward each other as if you're holding a block between your thighs. And breathe. On each inhale, release just a little. On each exhale, really push a little bit further into that bridge. One more full breath. And then lower on 3, 2, 1. Just tap that mat with your bum and then go right back into that bridge pose. And lower on 3, 2, 1. You can do that one more time, or if you want a little bit more, right, bend your arms back, taking the palms of your hands with your fingertips facing your body, raise your hips and then raise up into wheel. Lower your head gently back to the mat, and then lower your body, and then bring your knees into your chest, and roll around your spine. Come back up into seat, and then you want to spread your legs. I enjoy my favorite bolster and a block for this and for other things, but especially this. We're going into wide leg forward fold. I usually put a block between my thighs, and then I'll prop my bolster on top of it, and then with a straight back, I fold over and just melt into my bolster. Wide leg forward fold. You can rest on either cheek. You can rest with your head forward. Whatever feels good for you. I usually have to graduate to lower. Be sure that you're moving that flesh. I didn't cue that earlier, but you need to move that flesh to really have those sit bones into the mat. And breathe. Have those toes pointed up toward the ceiling. And just melt into this pose.
I can usually remove the block after a little bit and then really go further into this pose. Press your fingertips into the mat. And press up out of this pose. Remove your bolster. Or in this case, I'm going to use my bolster for my Shavasana because it feels so good under my lumbar. Well, at my lumbar spine. I'll place it right here at my sacrum. And then I'll lay back into my bolster. Take your feet out to either side of either corner of your mat. And if you would like to indulge in a bolster and a blanket yourself, please do so. Enjoy your Shavasana. Take about 5 minutes to enjoy it. And thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. And I hope to see you again real soon. Namaste.